first thing I'm using is my NYX Born to Glow Illuminator. I want this look to be super dewy and glowy. Then just in a few spots where I have larger pores, I'm using a pore filling primer. I already filled in my brows just for the sake of time. Next, I'm going in with a white concealer to carve out my brows. I'm also using this as an eye primer just because it's going to give the best color payoff. I'm putting this a little bit outside my crease and in the inner part of my eye. This look's going to get worse before it gets better just because it's going to get all cleaned up at the end. I do this on both eyes. Next, I'm going in with a matte white shadow just to set everything into place. Then I'm going in with the NYX Vivid Brights palette, and I'm using the hottest pink color to start the shading. I'm starting up really high, like almost completely under my brow, but I'm just blending it out, and I keep blending and blending. This look is going to require a lot of blending and a lot of clean brushes. I keep going back and forth. I went in really light-handed the first time just to give that really good gradient effect. Next, I'm going in with the darkest purple shade, and I'm going to put that a little bit lower than I did with the pink. And again, just going in super light-handed. You can always build it up. I switch back and forth between which eye I do, but I'm doing the exact same thing on both eyes. I go back and forth with the purple and the pink just so I don't lose any of the color. Then I go in with a matte black shadow, and I just put that right in my crease, and again going in very, very light-handed and just building it up. I'm trying to keep it off of my eyelid because I want it to look more cut crease. Again, back in with the purple. And then I just take a clean, really fluffy brush just to blend everything together really, really well. Then I go in with a makeup wipe and I take off everything on my eyelid because I lost some of the white. And then I go back in with that white concealer again just to give it a really stark white look. I switch brushes, and I should have done this at the beginning because this brush is a flat synthetic brush and it was much easier to carve out. And then again, just going in with that fluffy, clean fluffy brush to blend everything together, and then I set the white shadow. I go back in with the black just because I wanted it a little more intense, which is the best way to do it. And again, just cleaning up anything that fell. I kind of gave myself a little bit of a wing with the white concealer. Next, I'm going in, I put a little bit of white foundation on in spots before I put my skin tone colored foundation on. I did this just to give myself a little bit of a lighter effect in some spots. And I'm just blending this out really well. I'm also going in with a concealer that's a few shades lighter than my skin tone, and then again with the white concealer. I'm using a damp beauty sponge to do this. I'm not using really any powder on my face except for the contour, which you'll see in a minute, because I wanted to keep this really dewy and just really nice. I didn't want it to look cakey at all. I'm doing a super harsh contour, but besides that I'm not using any other powder, no blush or powder highlighter. I wanted this look to have somewhat of a glam effect, so you could wear this out in public if you wanted, minus the chest part. Next I'm going in with a NYX liquid highlighter and I'm just putting that on in the areas that I really want to highlight. I go in with it a few times and blend it out just to build up the intensity. After I blended this out really well, I went in and set it all with a dewy setting spray. Next, I wanted to give this a really blurred lip. I didn't want it to be perfect, but there's a fine line with a blurred lip between it looking messy and looking blurred. So I used a regular lipstick on a pencil brush that just with a hot pink color so that it didn't get too intense. Then I used two NYX suede liquid lipsticks and I put them on the back of my hand and then on the brush just so I don't get too much of the liquid lipstick, and I blend it out. It's almost like doing a smoky eye but on your lip. Then I go in with the color Alien, which is black, and I dabbed a little bit of it off even my hand because I just didn't want it too intense. You can always make it more intense, but I really didn't want to have to take it off and put it all back on. And I'm doing the inner part of my lip. I go in with my finger and a clean brush back and forth just to blend it all out really, really nicely. I go back and forth with the hot pink shade just because I lost a little bit of it, and then I took the black on the liquid lipstick applicator just so it was super intense on the inner part of my lip. And I blend that all out. Again, going back in with clean brushes is the key. I cleaned it all up with a Q-tip and then I just put on a clear gloss. Next, I'm using the cap to my foundation just as a stencil, a rough stencil I guess, and I'm using the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk just to get a somewhat circle for the eye. Then I'm going in with that black liquid lipstick, and then I'm using a water-activated paint. Water-activated paints you can't blend out once they dry, but that was the point I wanted once I started building up colors. If I put a pink over it to look darker or lighter, same with the liquid lipstick, you can blend those out. They just don't blend out as nicely as like the jumbo pencils do. This really looks like a mess, but once it all starts coming together, it looks really good. I just used a really fluffy brush to blend that all together, and then I used that same clear gloss in the middle, and then over top of it I mixed purple, pink, and black glitter together. I also wet my pencil, or not a pencil, a brush to put the glitter on. It got a little out of focus, but you'll see at the end I just kept layering the glitter until there was nothing left for it to stick to. It's okay if the glitter gets outside of the circle. No storm is perfect, so then I go in with the white jumbo pencil in Milk and the black jumbo pencil in Black Bean, and I just start blending those all together. You'll see in some spots where I had the water activated paint that it looks gray, and I meant to do that. I wanted it to have grays and blacks, white, and then in other places the white's even brighter. Then I go in with a black shadow and just kind of blend out the circle. Next I'm going in with the same pink lipstick I used on my lips, and I did that a little more circular than I should have. I should have broke it up a little bit, but I just go in with the pink shadow from the NYX Vivid Brights palette and just keep blending it all out. This requires a lot of blending and a lot of going back and forth with different brushes and colors. Then I use the purple liquid lipstick that I used on my lips, and I just keep blending that out. Liquid lipsticks do not blend super well, so I had to go in with the beauty blender and then go in with powder. But it all came out pretty well at the end. And again, I'm just going back in with purple and black I switch between powders and creams just to give it a little bit of texture and different effects. I felt like I had lost a lot of the white in the center, so I went back in. And again, I'm just blending that out and then I'll set it. Creams you need to set with a powder, the water activated paint, and the lipstick you don't. I felt like I had too much black there, so I went in with the jumbo pencil again and blended that all. I switched between brushes and the beauty sponge just because they both work, but the beauty sponge I felt like really tied it all together. Then I go in with a silver cream paint, and I just use that as a highlight. Then I go in with my finger and blend it out. I'm doing it very lightly because I didn't want to lose the pigment, I guess. And then I go in with a silver shadow just to set it into place. Then I'm just smoking out my under eye using the same colors I use in my crease. I then added lashes. I lied. I added liquid liner to the bottom and upper part. Then I added lashes and mascara just to blend it all together.